Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today is another episode with the Muslim Travel Girl live. That is the fourth video we're doing of the 30-day challenge. So I'm Elena, the Muslim Travel Girl, the editor of the largest Muslim-friendly Western travel blog on the block. We help Muslims travel the world in style without breaking the bank and exploring the beautiful world that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has actually created for us. We have been featured on BBC and Islam Channel, and I really love doing those videos with you. So how did that whole challenge started? I challenged myself to actually do videos for MuslimTravelGirl.com, more videos, but it always happens that I get something else more urgent, or it's too much work and you have to edit and it takes me ages. So instead of doing that, I thought of utilizing Facebook Live, which is what I am doing at the moment, for 30 days, answering questions from all the readers of Muslim Travel Girl, because I have so many emails. I literally get thousands of emails. And today's email came from one of my readers who pointed out something very important with regards to Umrah travel. So on the blog, I write a lot about DIY Umrah, sharing travel tips, sharing how to do Umrah for less money. I am the author of a book called Umrah Under 300, and I have gone for an Umrah Under 300, and I have shared that with you on the blog as well. So anyways, on the blog there is a story and a transportation guide for people, and today's topic is, can actually Muslims who are going for Umrah to take and rent a car? And what is the best way for them to actually have transportation to get from Mecca to Medina, or from Jeddah to Mecca and Medina? Because there's so many options and many people get confused. And actually it is one of the most popular posts. And I have a download which I am going to leave in the comments below for you if you want to, if you actually want to see it as well. So let's start it. If you have any questions with regard to transportation for Umrah, do let me know, and I will answer them while I am available here. Oh. Okay, so that is very interesting, Facebook. I read somewhere that you can have your video landscape too. Apparently you can, because I just checked myself on my computer and I was upside down. Yeah. So you can't be on a landscape, you only have to have it horizontally. So whatever I read that on the internet, it wasn't true. Anyways, we can continue, and actually my friend is just texting me saying your camera is upside down, turn it. I've fixed that now. I saw it. I'm sorry. But it wasn't me, it was the internet, which is perfect example that we shouldn't always believe what the internet says. Hello. Anyways, so transportation guides and the best thing for Umrah. So there are many ways to get from Jeddah to Mecca and Medina. One of the best things I prefer to do is to actually arrive in Medina and then travel to Mecca. And the only reason why I prefer to do that personally is because then I can avoid getting stuck in the Hajj terminal, which whoever's been on the Hajj terminal knows how frustrating that is, and how many hours you can actually wait there with no facilities. And especially if you are traveling during peak times, the best way to actually get faster out of the airport is if you arrive in Medina and then get out of Medina for Umrah and etc. That can save you a lot of time as well for getting stuck there, because I have people emailing me and saying that they have been stuck in the Hajj terminal for like 5 or 6 or 7 hours. So that's no fun. You can be spending that during Umrah and Tawaf, inshallah. So the number one of the best options you have is to actually arrive in Medina instead of Mecca. The problem with that is that there are no airlines at the moment that fly direct into or take Saudi Airlines. Actually, Noor, they don't always, Noor is saying take Saudi Airlines, they always take you to the regular airport. I had someone emailing me saying that they didn't get into the regular airport. And that is something I don't want to, I have been with Saudi Airlines and they actually once wanted to make us go from the normal terminal to the Hajj terminal to take our flight. That wasn't going to work very well, but they actually asked us to do that. And another thing for the Hajj terminal is actually there are no buses there or cars that can take you. It's only for 4x4s or big buses like the tour buses. So if you are doing an Umrah on your own, that will be a problem. Another thing that you can use to get from Jeddah is one of the most convenient ways if you're doing it yourself is a taxi. So if you have decided you have to fly into Jeddah, definitely a taxi is a good option for you. The taxis cost about 300 to 400 Saudi riyals, depends on how you negotiate. And always make sure that you actually negotiate the price with the taxi drivers because you don't want to get ripped off. I personally prefer to use Uber because I can literally just call it from my phone, and the Jeddah airport has internet, so once you arrive you can log in and you can call your taxi. Just make sure that you call, if you are calling an Uber and you're not getting a taxi from outside, make sure you do that once you have cleared immigration, because you never know how long you can get stuck in there and getting your luggage. We have waited for 2 hours, so make sure you do that once you are in the arrivals lounge. Usually Uber is pretty fast and quite reliable in Jeddah as well. Another method of transportation will be to take a bus. That is a little bit more complicated because there's no direct bus that leaves the airport to go to Mecca. They should definitely add that as an option, but at the moment you have to go to the main bus terminal to take a bus to from the airport to the bus terminal, and then from the bus terminal to Mecca. So it becomes really more complicated, and if you have luggage and you're tired and you had a long journey, you don't want to be doing that, really. Another option for transportation during Umrah is to have somebody pick you up, like a driver. There are companies that provide that service. You can rent a car and a driver, and they can drive you from the airport to your hotel in Mecca. Now, obviously, if you are arriving in Jeddah, the best option you have is to go first to Mecca because it's closer, and then to Medina from there. The other option is to, and it is a more expensive option, to get your hotel to provide with a car for you. That is quite more expensive. It can sometimes be 3 times the amount that you would pay for a taxi yourself. So make sure you do your maths, make sure you email your hotel and you ask them for the service. But it is the most hassle-free option you can have, because they will wait for you outside the terminal with your name tag. You can just get into the car and you can literally just leave for your hotel. So you don't have to negotiate with taxi drivers, you don't have to wait for an Uber, etc., etc. It's the easiest option. However, it is more expensive. Now, one thing that got my attention, and it was because a reader emailed, and I am on my blog, I said about renting a car, private hire, when what I meant was private hire. Somebody took that you can actually rent a car while you're in Mecca and in Mecca and Medina. Unfortunately, you cannot do that. So as a pilgrim, you are going for an Umrah, you're with an Umrah visa, you cannot rent a car to drive you, to drive yourself to Mecca and Medina from Jeddah. Actually, car companies, if you log into a car company, you will see the small print says you cannot rent a car if you are on an Umrah visa. And there are several reasons why they're actually doing that. One of them is that Saudis wants to keep pilgrims where they are meant to be going, which is Mecca and Medina, and limiting to those options is better if you don't have a car, because there are other methods of transportation, as I mentioned before, for those reasons. So it's a lot easier to just not do that. Also, they don't offer a tourist visa, so having tourists going around or pilgrims, it's not a viable option for them either. So in short, you cannot rent a car while you're for Umrah. Don't try to rent a car, you'll probably burn your money and they're not going to give you the rental, because you have to show your passport and they will see that you are actually with an Umrah. Okay, I'm back. So now let's look at the Mecca to Medina and what is the best option to have for there. So the number one and the most convenient option you have from going to Mecca and from Mecca to Medina or Medina to Mecca, depends, is that the SAPCO buses, which are the government Saudi Arabian transportation organization, I think it's kind of translates short for SAPCO. And they offer the VIP coaches, they offer the standard coaches. It takes only 4 or 5 hours. It's quite an easy ride, and it is the best option for getting from Mecca to Medina and the way back. The number one option many people choose is the VIP bus. It costs only £35, I believe, return for the journey, and it's much more comfortable. You have bigger seats. If you go into MuslimTravelGirl.com and you search for Mecca to Medina transportation, you actually will see a video, a short clip that one of my readers sent me of what the bus looks like inside. And you have your own table, you have drinks, and they do make a pit stop so you can relax for a bit, because it is a long journey to take. But this is the most comfortable way. One thing some of my Saudi friends always said to me is never get a taxi to drive you on the motorway from Mecca to Medina. And I have to agree, driving in Saudi is chaotic, it's crazy, and you don't want to be attempting that. No matter how good your driving skills are, it's a particular way they drive, and it can be quite dangerous, and there are many accidents. So the best way to get there will be with the bus. They are creating a train system, so inshallah one day we will have a train system, which will be awesome and so much easier and so much more comfortable. Until then, my best advice between the two holy cities will be to use the bus. Or you can also get a driver from one of the driver private companies. I have a list on the website, and I'll put the links below that you can use to call them and negotiate prices with them. Sometimes they start for, they provide you with the car and they provide you with the driver who is at your disposal. So even if you want to go around some of the ziyarah places, etc., and some of the historic places, you can do that with them. Another option, if you want to go around those cities and those places within the cities, will be to negotiate a price with a taxi driver. Make sure you negotiate the price and you write down the price, because we had some of our taxi drivers trying to get more money out of us. And it's never pleasant when you have agreed something and then, you know, they change the price and you have to negotiate or you have to give in, etc. And it puts you in a bad spot as well. So these are the best transportation methods. Please make sure that you don't rent a car. That is the most important thing. You don't want to be losing your money, and you don't want to be... Yeah, I totally agree with you. I believe the bus is the best option to get from Mecca to Medina, definitely. And for me, the best option to get from Jeddah to Mecca will be to get an Uber taxi or a taxi from the airport. It will be so much easier to do that. Habib is asking, how is the climate in November and December? The climate is actually very pleasant in November and December. One thing is that November and December are busy periods, especially December during Christmas time. It's busy and prices are higher up. If you are looking to go for Umrah this year, once it opens, I would definitely recommend going at the end of November and the beginning of December, because the school holidays are not there, and then people are mostly, you know, there are less people there, so you will enjoy it more, and the prices of the hotels are not going to be as expensive, inshallah. If you have any questions, please comment below. Sometimes I don't see all the questions. Facebook is still working on that. So Habib Less Crowd will be during November, once they open. They usually, this year, I think they don't have a particular date. They don't have announced the date. They will wait after Hajj, but it will be the end of November. So end of November, beginning of December. Avoid the Christmas holidays period and like the Easter, because many European Muslims go then, because we have school holidays here and it's easier for them to get during those times because they can get more time off work. Make sure to subscribe to the notifications. I think they're up here somewhere, so you can get the videos every day at 8 o'clock UK time for 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on the topic. We are going to be discussing a particular topic regarding Muslim travelers. From me, the Muslim Travel Girl, please, if you like it, share it, and I hope to see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.